Bit of a background to this presentation is it's all about cultural change and trying to manage it. And at BAM we went through that already. We're still going through it. Some of our people are very much aligned towards BIM, but it took a lot of hard work to get them there. I started off from the very top right down through the company. And just who we are, I suppose, the different sides to our company, it just means that we get a great overview within the industry, both in Ireland and across Europe, about what's actually happening out there and how it's changing and developing and moving towards BIM. We're also part of the Royal BAM Group. I suppose the best thing about that is we get exposed to what our colleagues are doing in the UK, what our colleagues are doing in Europe. In the Netherlands and in the UK, it is government mandated that you have to use BIM by 2016 by a certain date. So they're making great strides. We'll touch on that also. Another bit of background to the presentation is that we spent a couple of months during this year going around and visiting our design partners, the architects, the engineers, the M&E designers up and down the country, some of the biggest in the country and some of the smallest, and we asked them, we showed them what we were doing and where we're hoping to go with BIM, and we asked them what are they doing, what is their understanding of BIM and what is their capability. Right, just who we are. I'm the Virtual Design and Construction Manager at BAM, and Michael is the BIM Manager. And we have a team of people working with us. We have BIM coordinators, we have BIM technicians. And these are all positions and jobs, roles that didn't exist a couple of years ago. So it can only be a positive thing within the industry at the minute. An example of some of the projects we're doing. All of these images are from BAM projects. A lot of them are in Ireland, from Northern Ireland all the way down to Cork and across to Galway. Some of these jobs are on site, some of them are nearing completion, and some of the projects are just being part of our tender bids. Unfortunately, either we didn't win the tender or the projects got shelved. So it's nice, pretty 3D models, but these were all created in the Revit environment. I don't mind saying that. Revit is the modelling authoring tool. You can see those two images are made from Revit MEP. They're nicely rendered just to demonstrate how it will look, but they're clash free and they work on site. This particular image is of 3D rebar. A lot of companies we went to, the structural engineers, we would have asked them, do you model your rebar in 3D? And they'd say no, it can't be done, the software isn't available, and I suppose we just proved them wrong.
Well, actually, being part of the group as well, BAM have available to them through our resources internally a 3D rebar arm, I suppose.
Yeah.
You know, we have offices all over the world, we procure different companies as well. So through use of software like Allplan, different bits of software like that, we can thacilitate creating 3D models, the production of standard 2D drawings that you would expect as well. We're not unique in doing that. Designers do it as well. A lot of designers farm their reinforcement work out to the Middle East and places like that, so we're kind of jumping on that bandwagon, but you can hardly blame us for doing that either, really.
When we visited some of the structural engineers and they said they couldn't do it, they said the software wasn't available, it didn't exist. And we asked them, what software have you? Just give us a list, tell us what you have. And they actually had software within their design firm and just didn't realise what it could do. They're not leveraging the software. They're probably getting 40, 50, 60% use of the software they have. So it's just a pity. This particular job, it's a London job. The whole bid process was done in BIM, within the BIM environment. That particular project, when it came in, was worth 300 million sterling, so it does work. There was program certainty, there was cost certainty, design certainty. The image that you can see there is just a snapshot from the 4D simulation.
And again, getting back to the group, BAM Design and BAM Construct in the UK would be considered market leaders in the use of BIM within the UK, so we're very fortunate to have that resource to tap into as well.
These two images are from a job that we're doing in the south of the country. The architects, the engineers and the MEP designers had very little BIM capability, BIM experience. The value of the job is 12 million, not a big job. It's a healthcare facility. By controlling the process in a design and build environment, we're able to control the process. We're able to get people to kind of work in the type of BIM environment that will benefit us as design managers, design coordinators, and then onto the construction stage. So it can be done, and people shouldn't be afraid of it. It was a big step for us to get there. This particular image, sorry Michael, this image is...
it's a render. That's what we're all aiming for. I mean, that is the mecca with BIM, when you kind of get that design, that design certainty that you see there. So everybody wants one of those shots for a presentation, and again, we're fortunate enough that we're in a position to do so. But you can also see that, BAM, very interesting technology, laser scanning, very interesting to see what all the different laser scanning companies like Leica and Trimble and people like that have to show us today. We can see a huge future in that, and you can see in the bottom right hand corner here the kind of visual certainty that you can give a client as well. We've heard it said, and even yesterday I think by someone that presented, like a picture paints 1,000 words. It's for people who aren't used to looking at construction drawings, a picture like that gives them some kind of comfort and security in what they're procuring from you.
This particular image, it was the model authoring tool was Revit again. It can be Graphisoft, like it could be ArchiCAD, but it was Revit, it was done in. It's rendered, it looks great, the client knows exactly what he's getting. The teacher that comes in to look at the room that you're going to construct for him, where everything is, what's going to be there, it's very, very obvious. But it gets back to using the model authoring tool at the very start. You don't have to go out to a special design company and get them to do up nice pretty images for you. We could look at this room at any angle, and it just tells, picture paints 1,000 words, I suppose is what I'm trying to say. Right, projects in the field. It's where the money is made, it's where the big cost is. Like, so you're looking at projects, the design fees, the design process is small value compared to what you actually spend delivering the project in the field. We have some images here of our guys, our engineers, and you can see the second picture is an engineering office. It's completely changed what it used to be. You have guys using iPads. It is the 360 field and glued products from Autodesk that we're using. TV screen up, all linked up. They're just, the subcontractors are coming in. They're looking at it. This is what we're doing. This is how it works, and they're going down through the drawings as well. And fortunately, there's still a place for 2D drawings. You can't get away from it. Everybody likes the feel of paper. They like to be able to open them up, look at plans, look at sections. But look, that's a process. We can all move towards a virtual world.
We're very lucky as well that, over in the UK we are partnered with Autodesk, so we're in a tremendous position to help them develop their software, and they help us as well. BAM have, for well over a year now, have been piloting the use of the glue product, which won't be available in this country for resale until I believe March of next year. So Autodesk are an enterprise partner with BAM in the UK, and there's quite clearly to us there's an enormous amount of inherent benefits for us as a result of that.
We're doing a project on a pharma job not far from here. You can't use drawings on its paper. They've now started to issue their designs in models. It's very hard to actually get the information from the office down to the site, down to where the work is happening. So this is what we're using. It's working brilliantly. That's the glue products. The field product in is managing the processes, managing the actual construction environment. What it gives you is this. This is a dashboard, you could say, of the job. Right? This shows who's performing on the job, who's not performing on the job. You can have as much information up on this as possible. This is the PC or the desktop view of the 360 products. You get the right information in, say from an iPad down inside. Even if you don't have Wi-Fi, you bring the iPad back up, you sync it back to the system. Senior managers can look at this a couple of times a week and they know exactly who's performing for them, who's not performing for them, even if it's their own guys.
BIM data, we love data. So, misconceptions. We're quite conscious after our tour. A lot of these conferences is all very high level. A lot of people who are really, really very good at what they do, talking to people who are beginning the journey. And I've been there myself. We've all been there. A lot of people are probably still there. So we don't want to. We want to kind of myth-buster these issues away.
I suppose we better apologise anyway. Some of these are trivial. The majority of people, maybe all the people, might know the answers to these, but we've been talking to managing directors of some design firms, and they don't know anything about it. And trying to get them to partner with us on projects and using BIM, it's
And it's probably more for senior director level that this type of stuff is aimed at, because they go out, they buy the software, and they expect it to happen.
So it might be the 2, 3, 4, 5% of people in this room that might take something away from this. But yeah, that's the first question.
You can buy BIM in a box. Look, the answer to that question, I'm sure, it's no, you cannot. It's not just one piece of software, and no matter what a reseller will say, it does not mean that it comes in a box. Okay? We've seen a lot of the 20% software, 80% people statements. It is absolutely true. There is no doubt about that. Next one, favourite one, Revit equals BIM. Revit is a BIM authoring tool. It does not equate to BIM. It forms part of an overall solution. Okay. BIM equals software. We have all of our vendors. We're all here today, and we're not here to insult anybody. But BIM is a process which is enabled through the use of specialist software. Fundamentally is the reality of the situation. Anybody who tries to tell you differently is trying to sell you software.
If you're doing BIM, software is just the tools. Autodesk have fantastic tools. It won't do everything. Civil projects, you might need to mix it with Trimble. Bentley has great tools. You just need to pick the right tool for the job. Same if you're doing 5D BIM. Some of the vendors they're downstairs. They're great products. Maybe theirs will do the bid stage, but is it the right tool for actually managing the costs or managing the packages on sites? Possibly not.
BIM equals IT. This one is, I'm not going to say no there. It's not just about IT. IT plays a significant support role. We're very fortunate in our organisation that we have a very, very supportive ICT department. We make life extremely difficult for them, but they react to us, they help us out. It's extremely difficult if you're left by yourself. You're implementing software, processes, difficult ICT applications. You want to be doing your job. Ultimately, I think you're losing if you're not doing your job.
If you push on, I suppose, with the BIM rollout or BIM journey, and if you don't bring your ICT division into the mix from the very start, it will cause you serious headaches.
Are the days of the QS over? No, they're not. Unfortunately, no. BIM, when done correctly, is a tool which will better enable QSs. As an organisation, BAM, we employ quantity surveyors and estimators, so it's one of the few professions that we tend to employ, given our role. So, we are forever attempting to leverage the benefits of these models with our quantity surveyors.
And Claire Crowley done a great presentation early on about, I suppose, where surveyors are in Ireland, and a lot of them are terrified to go into the BIM environment and to trust the model. More of them can't get enough of the models. It's just where we are.
BIM is just a 3D model. No, it's not just a 3D model. BIM is the processes and workflows which leverage data-rich 3D models. Never was a statement more true. If you think it's just a 3D model, you need to think again. An excellent slide yesterday from Laura Handler. We're trying to take a drink of water from a fire hydrant. That is the level of data that is coming at us from BIM models. So we've heard the word process once or twice now. Why is this significant with BIM? BIM produces an enormous amount of data that, when used correctly, can be hugely valuable to a design or construction team. The amount of data that you can track and performance manage is unparalleled. If you can't measure it, as we said yesterday again, you cannot manage it.
Data is power, and what we find, you get a lot of people they're doing BIM. You can be doing BIM, you can be doing 3D models, but the flow of information could still be the very same as if we're just using 2D design, the traditional processes. It's trying to manage that. People use BIM in a different way. An architect has his purpose with BIM, an engineer has his, contractor has his, even a client or an FM provider. They all see BIM in different ways, which is the way it should be.
A lot of people would probably sit comfortable with that first question. I see no value in COBie data for my model, so why should I be concerned? Don't be too concerned. Like, the value is, the client is the reason why you might need to understand COBie. There's probably not many people in this room, myself included, who could throw the hand up and say I completely understand COBie. COBie is, it's a beast, and there's a lot of data aggregation required, and it's getting back to the hydrant theme. You know, our guys in the UK have been going through a lot of this COBie Plus as well, and what they're finding is you need to clear out a lot of the noise. Again, it's back to laser scanning. They need to remove a lot of the noise from laser scans. There's a lot of noise gets captured in a scan. You have to go in and clear it out. COBie is very similar.
And people say like that, data is power. I said it myself, and it is, but too much of it, you get overburdened. It's of no use. One thing that the COBie, if it's used the way maybe some people think it should be used, the door, for example, down there, instead of getting the 10 valuable pieces of information you need as an FM provider to change out that door, the ironmongery, COBie will probably give you 100. So it's 90% of information that's of no value to the person who's actually looking for it.
BIM, is it for me? So you're a designer. So how does BIM help you? Data-rich 3D model, coordinated construction documents, increased workflow efficiencies, design certainty. Those 4 reasons should be enough for somebody to take that first step.
And just those 4 reasons, that's the low-hanging fruit of BIM. Like, it's not, people get up and they speak at conferences and they meet other people and they're talking about BIM 5, 6, 7D, 8D, 11D, 14D, but if you don't do the small things or the easy things right, well, you know, it's all going to fail.
I'm a builder. How does it help us? Again, data-rich 3D model, coordinated construction documents, finally, increased workflow efficiencies, design and cost certainty. Okay? Again, no-brainer stuff, low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, you'd be expecting to get this anyway. The reality is you don't, and due to lack of inefficiencies, there's somebody paying for it, whether it's the design firms, the clients, the contractors, who are just trying to remove that, I suppose.
Yeah. So is it easily achieved? That depends on your outlook. Okay, we had a superb speech from a superb individual last night, a motivational speech, and again, that's a person who's got a very positive outlook, and anybody who was lucky enough to be there will probably know what I'm talking about. The hows are the big question, because that's what high level people want to know. How? You know, is it a cost or an investment? Which way where does your mind sit?
Now, we'd have had the same in our company a couple of years back. Like, is BIM just a 3D model? So we get a guy in who can produce a 3D model. That's BIM. It turns out it's a bit more than that, and it does cost a bit of money.
To train or not to train? And I'm specifically directing this at senior directors, people who are in a position to train their staff. The reality of it is, the staff training will turn into a cost. Well, you know, if you don't train them, an investment will become a cost. You need to train your staff. You need to invest in them. It's incredible the amount of companies who do not leverage the use of this software. A lot of this software is incredibly powerful when it's applied to the right issue. You know, if you're working in structural engineering and you're using Revit Structure, for example, or Tekla structures, they're designed to help you. But quite often what happens is people buy it, send somebody off in a 3 days essentials course. We're doing it. You're not. You need to continually invest in your staff, and there's risks associated with that, but the sure fact is if you don't invest in your staff, you're costing yourself money straight away. Like, there's a huge risk with that as well. You've just spent money on special software and you're not leveraging it.
With the cultural change, I suppose with BIM, if you invest in BIM and you're the MD of a company, you spend all this money training and learning and sending yourself off to academia. How can you put a value on the return you're getting from BIM? Just say you do a job and there's, I'm going to say, 70% less clash problems out in the site, out in the field. Technically, in reality, you shouldn't have those problems anyway, even though we all know they do exist. And because they don't exist, it's very hard to put a value on them. So that's the big task. But you need a plan. If you're bringing BIM into your company, if you want to actually work in a BIM environment or you want to collaborate with others, you need to know what you're doing and how you're going to do it. As Norma said last night from Crowley Carmen, you need to have a start, know what it'll take you to get you right down to the finish. The finish can be a long way off, but you need to have the different stages mapped out.
Yeah.
Right, we're very lucky in BAM. It's I suppose we buy in from the very highest level, so it makes Michael's job and my job a lot easier. There was a huge cultural change, but it filters right down. Once you get the guys at the very top table promoting this, advocating this, and this is how we're going. You have the division managers, you have Lorraine, our bid manager, we have our programmers, our surveyors, our design managers. Everybody wants a piece of this. It's very important. The strategic plan, our strategic plan is riddled with BIM. BIM isn't a section of the plan. BIM is dotted throughout the plan. Be it FM, be it services engineering, PPP, see our site staff. We have a BIM council. The BIM council is across the different group members, so it is based in the Netherlands. So everybody is trying to learn from everybody else. If you go this alone, you will fail. If you think you have the solution, you might. 50 times out of 100, you might not. So you need to talk to other people. You need to get out there. You need to go to conferences, talks, maybe be part of groups on LinkedIn.
And again, we also recognise that we don't want to have duplication of effort within the group. We don't want different silos, that word again, favourite word, silos, going ahead, doing stuff, only to realise somebody else has already done it. It's important to talk, particularly for very large organisations. And even within small offices, you could have guys doing the same thing, only to realise they were both at it at the same time. So communication is key.
Mind mapping with BIM, if you want. You have people who want to be part of it. Ask them what they want to get out of it. You have a different role, different title within your organisation. Everybody leverages BIM a little differently, but you need to bring it all together. So that's very important.
Processes, documents. There have been some excellent presentations today about this stuff. It's extremely important, cannot be underestimated. We are stepping into a whole new world where life is very different for people and people need to find their roles. Everybody needs to know what they need to do and what they need to deliver, what the expectations are. So,
yeah, and knowledge sharing. This is knowledge sharing. This is us from one company trying to explain, I suppose, how it worked for us or maybe how it didn't work in places. You have to talk to people. You have to try and find a way in or find an open door and just talk to people and ask them what does work, what doesn't work. There's plenty of people, you can see at this event, there's plenty of people willing to impart their wisdom.
Bit of a personal joke here.
Yeah, so you have soft training and investments. You need to get people just out there. You need to get them on courses. But as I said, we had our own cultural change, so people within our own company. But, so that's it.